Hey everybody, welcome. This is our first Facebook Live. Well, we're going to live stream and try to record this at the same time with our new system that we set up here with the studio. So in just a few minutes, we're going to get started and we're going to do a color wheel demonstration. So hopefully you'll be able to see the canvas and the palette and hear me, and it'll all work. See you soon. Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with us today. We're going to do a color wheel. Color wheel is so basic, but I think it's fundamental and important. So over here I have my palette. You can see I like to paint on a glass. I like to work with a glass palette, and we're just going to use 4 colors today. We have Gamblin Artist White, which is right here. We have Gamblin Cab Yellow Medium, which is right there. I've got some Gamblin Cad Red, which is right there. And then I've got my ultramarine blue, which is right here. And I'm going to use my rosemary brush because I really like it. And I have a palette knife. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle because we want a color wheel, right? And I am cheating. I am just using a roll of tape because this is not a class on drawing circles. This is on making a color wheel. Now I'm going to take my ruler. I'm just going to put it right in the middle of my color wheel. And I'm going to draw a line. That easy. I'm going to come down here, take my ruler, and draw another line. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So now we're going to take each of these sections and we're going to divide them into thirds. We're going to do a third, a third, a third. Again, this is not going to be perfect. This is just kind of our guide for where to put our colors. So there's a little line there. And there's a line there. So now this little area has 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Okay, so there is the foundation for our color wheel. Now we're going to start with our primary colors. Our primary colors are, did you guess? Yellow, red, and blue. They're called primary colors because these are the colors that just exist they just exist. You don't mix anything to make yellow. Yellow is yellow, red is red, blue is blue. So I'm going to start with any of those 3 colors that I want. Again, we're doing red, yellow, and blue. I'm going to start with the yellow. Just picking it up here with my brush. And I can put it anywhere I want in my color wheel. It's totally up to you. Doesn't matter. You're still going to have a color wheel at the end. Everyone's will be a little different depending on where they put their first little primary color. But there we go. Just painted that little space yellow. Okay, that's yellow. I'm going to clean off my brush. I'm going to pick up my next primary color, which for me is Cad Red. Get that yellow off my brush. And I'm going to count 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and put Cad Red in the 4th space. I can go either direction. I can go this way or I can go this way. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. What matters is just that I leave 3 spaces. I'm going to paint this little section Cad Red. There we go. All right, cleaning my brush again so it's nice and clean. I'm just using Gamsol odorless, and I'm going to come back and pick up some ultramarine blue now. So here's my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to count 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and put it in the next space over. All right, so there are my 3 primary colors. Now we're going to mix our secondary colors. And our secondary colors are what you make when you mix 2 primary colors together. So we're going to mix yellow and blue, and we're going to get green. We're going to put green right here. We're going to mix yellow and red, and we're going to get orange, and put orange right here. And we'll mix red and blue, and we'll get purple. We'll put purple right here. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to make enough of these colors that I have enough left over to make our 3rd set of colors, which are our tertiary colors. So let's just start with some cad yellow right here. I'm gonna go pick up some cad red up here and make an orange. That's a pretty good looking orange. I'm gonna come take my brush. I just put a little medium on it so it'd flow a little better. And I'm gonna mix, I mixed my orange, now I'm gonna put it right here in this little space. Ooh, looks like there's a little bit of blue on my brush still. Okay. There you go. There's your orange. That orange, yeah, I think it's far enough away from that red that it'll work. If not, I can adjust it on the next step. Now I'm going to take my knife, wipe it off, and I'm going to mix my next secondary color, which is going to be green. So I'm going to pick up some of this pretty cad yellow. I'm going to put a little bit of this pretty ultramarine blue in there, and I'm going to get this really pretty green. Okay, so we're going to paint that little space green. Alrighty. There we go. Now we're going to make our last secondary color. So we're going to mix red and blue, and we're going to get purple. So, and this, you can mix any red and blue to get purple, right? So this cad red and this ultramarine blue, they don't make the prettiest purple to me, honestly. I like to use alizarin crimson when I make purple, when I'm painting. And we have our white paint here just because it's so dark. I just put a little white in this one so we can kind of see it a little better. So you can see there it's a little more red than purple. Oh, there we go. So put a little more blue in there. To me, that's kind of a mauve-y purple, but that's okay. So I'm going to pick this one up. I'm going to paint this last little bit purple. Okay, so here we have our primary colors, red, yellow, blue, our secondary colors, orange, green, purple. Now we have these empty spaces. These are called your tertiary colors, which are made up of an equal mix of a primary color and a secondary color. So we're going to take our little pile of green that we made, add some yellow to it, and we'll get a green here that goes more to the yellow side, basically. And we'll take our green we made here and add some blue into it and get a green that goes more towards the blue side. I'm going to start with yellow, though, because that's kind of the one I like to start with. So here's our orange pile, right? So I'm going to fill this square right here. So I'm just going to mix orange with some yellow in it. I can use my knife or my brush. But the trick is to get a color that's different than the one that's up there and leans more towards the warm yellow side of orange. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? This is handy because there'll be lots of times you're painting and you want an orange color, but you want your orange maybe to be a little warmer or a little cooler. And so if you want it to be a little warmer, you can always just mix a little yellow into it. Now I'm feeling like these are too close together, but we'll see. I'm going to put a little red up here in my orange pile and see if I can get a color that's different. If not, I'll just come back and adjust that one. Yeah, it's a little different, but I don't think it's quite different enough. So I'm going to lighten up this orange here when I come back. So I want it to be different than the red, right? See how close these two are together? So since I already have paint on there, this is the beauty of oil paint. This is the one that's going to change, right? I can just put a little more yellow right on top of there and try to get it to change. Just enough so that I have different colors over here. And this is the hardest one for some reason, There's just not much difference between these oranges and these reds, these yellows. I think that looks pretty good though. So now I have yellow, I have a lighter orange, I have orange, and I have a very red orange over here. Okay. Next one over, I'm going to make my next tertiary colors. So let's do blue, or I'm sorry, green. So I'll take my green, I'm going to mix a little yellow into it, right? It's the primary color that's next to it. I'm going to get a pretty limey green color. That's going to go right here. More yellow paint. Okay, it's a nice green. Then I'm going to take that same pile of green, I'm going to put a little ultramarine blue in there. And I'll get more of a blue-green. There we go, that's pretty nice looking too. All right, finally we're going to adjust our purple. So I'm cleaning my brush because it's getting kind of dirty at this point. So I'm going to take purple and I'm going to add red to it. And I'll come up with a purple that goes more towards the red side of the spectrum. It's getting a little thin, so I just put a little medium in it. It just stretches it and makes it go a little farther. All right, there's that one. And then finally, we're going to take this purple, and there's actually blue sitting right here. Put a little more blue into it and go more towards a bluish purple. That's an interesting color, isn't it? I'm going to put a tad of white in it just so we can see it a little better. Maybe a little bit more blue. All right, so there is my basic color wheel. Primary colors, red, yellow, blue. Secondary colors, orange, green, purple. Tertiary colors, the ones in between, the primaries and the secondaries. Now you kind of may wonder, like, okay, so that's great, but why do we have a color wheel? Well, we use it in class a lot. So like, say for instance, the colors across from each other on the color wheel are called complementary colors. So red and green are complementary. So if we put complementary colors next to each other, there's green. If I pop red next to it, they make each other pop out and dance. Pretty bold, they make each other bolder. So if I'm painting something though, like trees, rarely will you find a tree that's as green as a green that you mix on your palette. So you want to desaturate your green a little. So you don't put black in it. In order to desaturate your green and make it a less green, you add its complementary color, which would be red. So if I take my green here and I put a little red into it, you'll see right away that it becomes more of this olivey colored green. Let's put it right there underneath so you can see it. So see how it almost looks grayish on there, doesn't it? See how that red knocked back that green? Same thing, obviously, green will knock back red. We could do the same thing with blue and orange. And this is one of my favorite ways to mix gray. If you mix them enough, they will become a gray color. So let's just take some pure ultramarine blue, and we can put a little of our orange in it. Well, here, let's put it up there, pure first. So here's your ultramarine blue, nice and bright. Here's my pure orange, nice and bright. So see how they, oopsie, I got a little blue in there. See how they make each other pop? But if that blue is too blue, which it is sometimes, or that orange is too orange, I can just take a little bit of the orange, put it in the blue, and it'll immediately tone down this blue. Oh, it almost made it turn green, didn't it? And what color it goes also depends on how much yellow or red you have in your mixture of orange. There, let's get closer to what I was trying to show you. I'm going to put a little white in it just so you can see. So that really toned down that blue, and it makes a really pretty gray. You do the same thing with purple. Should we see purple? Okay, real quick. Okay, here's plain old purple. And then there's plain old yellow. So see how they make each other pop. But if that yellow is too yellow, I can just put a little bit of that purple in there and it'll immediately knock back that yellow. It's almost a yellow ochre. So that's one thing we use a lot in class. Another reason I like the color wheel is, like I kind of explained before, say you're making a yellow, but you want your yellow to be cooler. So you can just travel around the color wheel this way and put some blue in it, or some purple, and you'll get a cooler yellow. If you want your yellow to be warmer, then you just travel around this way and you can put some red in it and make a warmer yellow. So that's kind of the basics of the color wheel and what we use it for. If you want to find out more, jump on our website, come see us for class, and I hope you learned something today.